Alright guys, this is video 1 of many to come for the home workouts. Thought I'd work a couple days ahead of you guys. So if you do the workouts, pass on some tips, and I'll break down the warm-ups, the strength, the conditioning elements. Hopefully I can pass on a few things for you that makes things go smoother for you. Kind of want to give you a tour of the gym. Pretty proud of it. We put a lot of work into it. Yeah, we got a rower, and we got a whiteboard, got a clock, got some squatting racks. Pretty important, we got storage out of the way so we don't have to clutter our workout area too much. It's not the biggest space. We got the treadmill. I don't spend much time on that. Running's not my favorite. Yeah, it's an outbuilding garage, so it's kind of nice. We can crank the music and way less disturbances. Kids can't bug you, pets. So it's pretty nice. All right, guys, we'll get into it. So your Monday starts off with a warm-up. We have 10 reps on each movement. We're going to make it 2 rounds. It'll feel better the second round. You'll be a bit stiff, a bit tight. So we got PVC pass-throughs to start off with. Now you may or may not have a PVC, but if you do, you're probably pretty familiar with pass-through. Pretty important aspect to the pass-through. Obviously getting some shoulder movement, some shoulder mobility established. Also upper body thoracic. We want to be able to open up the upper back. Okay? Feel better in these snatches, these overhead lunges that we're going to be doing with the dumbbell. So start off wide. We're going to be tight on our first few reps. So as wide as you need to facilitate, making it feel pretty good through that sticky spot. Important, once you get to the top, you don't want to be hunched forward. It really makes it hard to pass through. So you want to open up the upper back. Get the chest tall, get the shoulder blades pinched back. Makes it a much smoother pass through. Once that feels good, don't just stay there. Narrow up the grip a little bit and make it as challenging as possible, repping out that 10 reps, all right? If you do not have a PVC pipe, a band will work. You could also use a broom, some kind of stick, but yeah, a band will work as well. Again, you want a little bit of a stretch on it, so you don't want to be out here. You want to actually have to stretch it a little bit wider, and then same idea, taking it through to open up chest and back for that pass through. Okay, you gotta be careful. There's a little bit of instability in this movement, so try to be really stable throughout that range of motion. 10 of those. Okay, then we're getting into some air squats, basic air squat. You always want to go slow, methodical, and with the best technique you can. Get your stance. Challenge you guys to go straight forward with the feet. If you're a person that tends to toe out quite a bit or duck foot, try to challenge yourself and go straight forward with feet. It puts more demand on hip mobility, thus working it a bit more, and then when you go to your normal stance and squat, probably feel a little bit better, okay? So taking it down nice and slow with that foot forward stance, trying to maintain neutral spine for as long as you can. We tend to get about here sometimes, get a little bit lazy, and then do the butt wanker hunch forward. So try to maintain that posture through that whole range of motion, breaking parallel within that squat. 10 of those, then we got some step back lunges. Try to put the work into the front leg, okay? Try not to just plant this back leg and do most of the work with that leg. Try to really focus on just touching this back toe for a bit of balance, but then focusing on doing the work with that front leg. We're gonna alternate for a total of 10. Try not to lean forward like I probably was there, a little bit tired from just doing the workout. 10 reps, 5 each side. We got band pull parts. We know what those are, obviously. Make it challenging. What I like to do if you got one of these red bands is I'll actually wrap and wrap, so it's like that, so you actually don't have to hold on to it. And you make it, again, challenging. Start both clavicle level, okay? Then we're gonna pull and really try to retract the shoulder blades for a hold, and then back forward, okay? This isn't the only work phase, okay? I see people do this and then just let themselves collapse forward. Through the whole range of motion, we want to be slow and controlled to get the most out of it. 10 of those. And Spider-Man reaches. We're going to do 10 per leg. If you can, try to have the back knee off the ground. Okay, let's try to have actually a straight up and down shin on these instead of being in this position on this. Okay, get a little bit more through the hamstring and hip area with this stance. Okay, so you're reaching that elbow down. We're going to turn up for that twist. Try not to lift the hips as we do the twist. And we're going to do 10 on one side and 10 on the other side. that is your warm-up, guys. 2 rounds of that. Then we're going to get into our kind of dumbbell cycling complex. It is 9 power snatches, so that's from the ground, and that's 9 on one side, right into 7 hang power cleans on the same side, finishing off with 5 overhead lunges. Okay, all on one side. It gets pretty demanding holding onto that dumbbell for the whole time. And you do want to be unbroken, hopefully, so you need to modify reps if you think that you need to break it up. Now, some people may or may not have this overhead mobility to lunge. We don't want to see you having to do this because you can't get the arm behind the head and fully lock out. So we could possibly do front rack lunges, or we could do farmer's carries lunges, which I'll go over in a sec. So I personally started off on the weak side, knowing that I was going to be a bit more tired going into the other side without a break. I started with the weak side. I highly recommend it. It's up to you. Dumbbell snatches. Okay, we're not going to make you touch both heads of the dumbbell. Sorry, my phone was just giving me a warning that it's low on battery. Hopefully this video is still going. So, touch, snatch. Okay, really using the hip and leg drive to create elevation on that dumbbell. Try not to early pull arm and muscling it up, but getting that shrug, followed by elbow pull, followed by turnover. Okay, so 9 on that side, into hang power clean, hopefully seamlessly cycling right into it. So bring it down, and now we're into dumbbell hang power clean. So we want to show elbow in front of the dumbbell. We want dumbbell head to touch the shoulder to finish the rep. Okay, kind of like a kettlebell swing to get some movement on it, and then finish again. Elbow in front, dumbbell head touching, right into overhead lunges. So after your 7th dumbbell hang power clean, snatching it above your head, and then hitting these step back lunges. Very important to have the bicep close to the ear, the bicep behind the ear to be stacked over the middle of the body, and then 5 lunges. So step back and alternate legs for a total of 5 reps. Done. Take it over to the other side. All right. We want it to take about a minute on each side. So yeah, you're finishing both sides in under 2 minutes. If that can't happen with your dumbbell weight, then you want to reduce your reps a little bit to make it about a minute per arm. Okay, and it's not totally destroying you. It took me 13 and 31 seconds to get that done. Definitely rounds 4 and 5, I was feeling a little bit more fatigue. I was able to hold on to my time, but it was more of a struggle. I had to put more effort into it to hold that unbroken and keep cycling fairly fast. Finishing it off, 21:59 of V-ups and push press. V-up, okay, let's go over the standard of a good V-up. We want legs to stay together. We want legs to be straight. We want the torso to come up just about knee height, okay? So we want to look like that. We don't want it to look like that, where you're all legs and your body is down. So I'll try to demo a good one. Hopefully you can see it. Okay, I personally don't let my legs touch the ground every rep, so I don't just flop down and then go into it. I stay in hollow. So I'm here, snap up, and then down. Okay, these are how I'm repping mine out. Some people would touch their heels each rep. That is fine. Try to minimize leg bending or breaking the legs apart. We want everything tight as we go through that range of motion. Single leg V-ups, same thing. I believe we doubled up your reps because they're quite a bit easier on that. And then we have the dumbbell push press. Okay, so getting the rack position, getting feet about shoulder width is where I like to do it. When you do your dip, just like a push press, you want to stay tall. You don't want to hunch or hinge forward with the hip. You want to put the weight into the heel. You load up the hips by driving the knees open as opposed to hinging, all right? And then it's an aggressive drive up and push press again. You got to press it out. We're not jerking underneath it. And unless your dumbbell's too heavy, then you could possibly jerk under it. So it is 21 of those. 21 on one side, 21 on the other. I broke it down to 11 and 10 to get to my 21. Then it's 15s. I broke that into 8 and 7. and I was able to go unbroken on my 9s, unbroken on all my V-ups. That may not happen for some of you. Then we're into a 9, 15, and 21 of sit-ups. So we got the classic sit-up. If you have an ab mat, use it. If you don't, a cushy something under your back. You could possibly do straight leg, or you could do butterfly within the sit-up. I did strict hand on the shoulders. Some people could do arm swing if sit-up is challenging for them. And then we're into the front squats. Pretty challenging for me anyway. With it wasn't so much my legs as holding that front rack after everything you've done. Pretty tired. So what I found, if I can give you a visual, instead of being here, I found it really beneficial to bring my elbow in as close as I could as I was doing my squats. I seemed to feel way better than being out here. This kind of pulled me off to the side, used a lot more midline. So by bringing it in, kept everything a little bit tighter within that range of motion. All right, so that was 9 of those. I was able to go unbroken. 15, I went 8 and 7. And 21s, I went 8, 7, and 6. My total time on that was 14:36. Pretty good training day all in all. I really felt it in my shoulders and midline. So hopefully that was beneficial for you guys. Look forward to making more of these. For me, it's Happy New Year's. So early Happy New Year, or late Happy New Year's for this video. And we'll see you later, guys.